everybody's gone crazy. Where have all the dreamers gone? Or have we all just gotten lazy? Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. Ooh, something strange is in the air. Seems that everybody's changing, and I can't find no faith anywhere. Seems it's been replaced with raging. Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. No one can take that from me. I see what I choose to see. Reality is what you make it. So why would I ever choose hatred? I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. And if I gotta choose, I choose love.
What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. I am your host, Tramel Thompson. We are back. And I'm loving my hat today. We need more black billionaires. That's a fact. They don't got to be billions. Be nice, but we need some more black millionaires. We need the same opportunities as everyone else. It's good to be back on live with you guys. I feel like I haven't been here in a while to talk to you, but I was just here, the other day. Y'all know the format of the show. You could call in live whenever you see that call-in number right there. You could call in live to make your voice heard. You see the number 563-999-3714. Also, I'm changing up the format of the show a little bit. I want to make this show more broad. I want to bring in more issues. I want to talk about, things that's happening around the city and the country. Just to diversify the show a little bit. I think that we here for transit issues, but it's also good to hear about other issues that's going on. And also, if you have not joined the channel yet, it's 99 cents a month to join the channel. And to get your comments seen and heard, but I'm gonna leave them open today. To join the channel is 99 cents, no sweat off your back, right? But it's good to be here with everyone today to discuss, some things. And before I get into the transit issues, I want to touch on some broad issues, broad news issues, and just want to do it briefly. But for those who's watching right now, make sure that you like, share this live stream. Definitely like and share this live stream. It's about 20-some people on right now. Make sure I have 20 plus likes on this live stream right now, please. Right? Man, life, I'll tell y'all this right now. For me, before I jump into all this stuff, life is so good for me right now. You know, we had the all hands on deck meeting at Sugar Hill. It was great. You know, a lot of people was like, "Oh, you're looking good and you're moving around." Yeah, I'm moving around. Still a long road to recovery. Don't be fooled. I'm still having a lot of issues. But I'm here and I'm doing the work that the universe has laid out for me. You know, a lot of people see me with presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. more often. You will see a lot more of me with him as I navigate these territories and get a better understanding of what's going on in the world. You know, it feels good to be a part of presidential election, right? Seat at the table, opinion being valued, great team, knowledgeable, geniuses, experts in their fields. So the things that I learned over there, which I'm fortunate to be a part of that team, the things that I learned over there, I'm also going to bring over here to Progressive Action so we all could benefit. You know, it ain't no fun if only I could benefit. But I want to get into this news story real quick. Chanel Lewis, let me fix this a little bit. Let me just fix it a little bit. Chanel Lewis conviction for killing Queens jogger Karina Vetrano should be scrapped over racial dragnet lawyers. Right? So basically they saying that the police used racial profiling basically to grab this guy, Chanel Lewis, for the killing of Karina Vetrano. Now, for those who's not familiar with the case, this young lady went jogging in Queens and she was murdered. They snatched this guy up, Chanel Lewis. He went to trial. He was convicted. Now, I'm going to be honest. These are just my opinions, my thoughts, mine's only. I don't think that he did it. You know, something is strange about that case. And it just didn't never sit well with me, even though he was convicted of the crime. Something about that case did not sit well with me. And I think that some things is going to unravel within these next few months regarding this case. So this is something for those who was following this case when it was in the headlines. It's something to be paying attention to, because I'm sure going to be paying attention to the case, right? But yeah, something is strange with that, and I don't get it. Next thing I want to touch on. Oh, check this out. You know, we today I'm gonna teach you guys how to hold your union reps accountable, but I want to point something out to you guys regarding the contract also. But speaking of contracts, UPS workers approved 5-year contract putting seal on negotiations that threaten deliveries. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, UPS workers is making a whole bunch of money now. It is said that they will be making up to $170,000 a year. And that is dramatically more, significantly more than what transit workers make, right? Now, look at that headline. They threaten deliveries. That means people wouldn't be getting their packages. They use their power, their collective power, to get the raises that they felt that they needed. And in my opinion, their raises, their fight, holding their bosses and managers accountable, they did a better job than what we did over here at TWU Local 100. You know, it's very hard to get the contracts that you deserve when you have a union leadership who's in bed with management. And they act like that. They try to disguise it and act like that we don't see what's going on. No, we see exactly what's going on. We're being sold out. We have a lot of power collectively that we do not use. And we seen it, this contract, it was purposely not used because our union administration is in bed with management. But when you have union leadership who's not in bed with management, you get results like what the UPS workers got and other unions across the country. We seen what they got in Boston, especially when it comes to addressing retention, bonuses of $7,500 for new hires, right? Nothing here regarding that when it comes to transit workers, right? And this is done. And what I think that the MTA, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot, and they're already feeling the effects of it now. By not retaining employees, they're going to create a gap in the system here where the people who's going to be suffering are the customers and the employees. The customers are going to suffer from a lack of service, people to actually move the equipment. The employees are going to suffer by when passengers are waiting a long time, passengers get angry, they take it out upon us. We're going to be working harder, less breaks, less chances to eat food, less chances to use the bathroom. Everything is going to be about service, and it's going to put a strain on the workforce. And when you put a strain on the workforce mentally and physically, we tend to take more sick days off. We tend to get sick more. Things start happening. And I personally don't think that the powers that be in the MTA care about retention because it's not affecting them. And they do not see or hear. They hear what we deal with on the road, but they just don't care. And the proof is in the pudding regarding that. Now, for those who just tuning in, like I said, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, the phone lines are open, 563-999-3714. I do have a time limit that I'm going to be on today because I have some things to do. But I definitely want to hear from y'all if y'all feel like calling in, right? So the next thing that I want to get into is I want to get into this right here. I think that we need to touch on this topic. Transit workers are the unsung heroes of the rescue and recovery story, but that is changing now. Thanks to the cooperation and efforts of Local 100 museum leadership and staff, Local 100 President Davis said transit workers will be represented in the September 11th memorial. Let me ask y'all guys a serious question. Of all the things that this union can be championing, they want to champion that, right? All the things that they could be creating awareness, like getting transit workers in the museum. Is that on the top of y'all priority list? Symbolism? Hey, we got you in the museum. You're great. Everything is great. We got you in the museum. Is that really what's on transit workers' mind? I mean, maybe I don't understand. But is that on the list that really get us going? That, hey, we in the museum now. There's nothing else that this union can be discussing. Like lobbying politicians for better assault bills. Standing up to the MTA with discipline, workers' comp issues. But they think that, you know, the unsung heroes, being in the museum, it's top of the line for us, man. I mean, maybe I don't get it. I mean, I get that we need to be recognized, but wow, come on, we could do better than this. But this is the result you get when you elect leaders. I mean, let me take that back. We did not elect him; he was selected. But elections have consequences because the person who selected him, we elected him in, right? So we gonna be in a tough space. We're going to be in tough positions Um, if we continue to behave this way. But one of the reasons the rest of the show is going to be informational. And I'm going to streamline the information to you guys to understand how to hold your union rep accountable. Because there are ways to hold your union rep accountable. And when it comes to accountability in this union, accountability starts with us. It starts with the member, right? And ways to hold your union rep accountable starts with knowing information. It's knowledge based. It's knowing how to do it, when to do it, and the information provided to do it. First, we must understand what roles the union reps play. Like, what does the e-board do? What you can do to help your union, right? And these are steps that you can take to hold your union reps accountable. Because when you're dealing with people in general, people get away with things that you allow them to get away with. So when we hear that when we say, oh, our union is weak, our union leadership is weak, they doing this, they doing that, what you have to ask yourself is, what am I doing to hold them accountable, to make sure that they aren't weak? What role can I play in this to be the change that I want to see? And the first question I ask to you guys is, what can I do to help my labor union? And I laid out a few points, right, that I felt that's important to holding your union reps accountable. And the first one, I'm not going to go through it point by point, right? If you came to the all hands on deck meeting, everybody got handouts on this. That's why it's important to come through these meetings. But I'm just going to touch on a little bit of the points, right? The first thing that you could do to be the change that you want to see is that you have to pay your union dues, right? Union dues allow you to vote on contracts. It also allows you to vote in elections. If you are not in good standing, you cannot participate in this process. Right now, I see some people, there's some conversations that's going around saying, I want to opt out of the union. And to be honest, before we think about opting out, like, you have to ask yourself, what did you do to help before you opt out? Right? Like, for me, if Tremel Thompson wants to opt out of the union, I have legitimate reasons to say why I am. And the reasons, my reasons may not be for your reasons, and vice versa. But for me, I participated in this union to the highest degree, right? This union is wildly corrupt. And I don't think that they are going to change until you hurt them financially. And ironically, hurting them financially actually hurts us back. But sometimes I think that you have to go that measure to see that change, to get them on the right track. They're not going to change until they see something financially harming them. And it will be a stain on their legacy if people opt out of the union up under their leadership. Maybe they don't even care. I don't even see Richie Davis caring. He's a man that's about himself, and that's it. But moving right along, the second thing that you could do is attend union meetings. You cannot hold your union reps accountable if you don't go to union meetings. You have to attend union meetings to hold your union reps accountable. There is no other way to do it. There's absolutely no other way to do it. Third way is get involved in union campaigns. When I say that there's no bystanders in this, there's no bystanders. Whether you're siding with the incumbents, the Stand United Union Administration, whether you're siding with Progressive Action, and I don't know whatever other type of factions are out there, you must be on somebody's side. You cannot be neutral. You must agree with something or partly or whatever, but you must be a part of those campaigns. And not only election campaigns, but you must be a part of campaigns of going to lobby day. You must be a part of campaigns, anything regarding the union to make us a day better, right? Volunteering your time goes along with that. That's the third thing, right? Being an active member. We must be active in our union. If you don't want to be active in your union, if you don't want to do none of these things, you might as well be a part of corporate America. There's no reason for you to be paying union dues, giving away your money for free, if you don't see yourself being active, volunteering your time, getting involved with union campaigns, attending union meetings, and things of that nature. Another thing you could do to help your labor union is talk to your coworkers about the union and why it's important. We must have these conversations. There has to be more conversations going on in these swing rooms, these crew rooms, than basketball, football, what's happening in these TV shows. There has to be more than that. We must talk to our coworkers about the importance of the union. Encourage your coworkers to join the union. Encourage them to be a part of the leadership. Encourage them to be the change that they want to see. We all know there's so many smart people in transit that we don't encourage each other to go further and encourage each other to be better, right? We do that at Progressive Action. Most of the people who is elected that came through Progressive Action never really seen themselves as being where they was at. I encourage them to be that change. So I think that that's important. Be a positive role model for other union members. Very important. This is probably the most important. Be willing to stand up for your rights and the rights of your fellow coworkers. That is the epitome of being a part of a union, protecting each other. That is so important. And get involved in the political process and support candidates who are pro-union. I mean, these things go without saying. These things go without saying, right? So that's what you could do to help your labor union. Another thing that I wanted to highlight during the all hands on deck meeting is the role and duty of the Local 100 Executive Board. If you ask me, that's where our biggest failure lies at. The people who are elected who don't represent the members' best interest at large, right? And I'm going to explain to everyone what the role and duty of the executive board is. Matter of fact, let me just throw it on the screen. Give you guys a better understanding. Let y'all see it, right? That's why we got this show. So, as you see, the role and duty of the Local 100 Executive Board. The Union Executive Board, they are the governing body of the labor union. They are responsible for seeing the union's day-to-day operations, implementing its policies, and representing the union's interests to employers and other organizations. The executive board is typically made up of elected officers, such as the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and other elected officials. The size and composition of the executive board varies from union to union. The specific duties of the executive board are determined by the union's constitution and bylaws. However, some common duties include setting the union's policies and priorities, approving the union's budget, representing the union in negotiations with employers, administering the union's contracts, overseeing the union's finances, investigating complaints from members, disciplining members who violate the union's rules, electing or appointing other union officials, set the agenda for union meetings, oversee the union staff, approve expenditures, establish committees and task force, plan union events, communicate with members, represent the union to the public. Now, what I'm going to say about this, right? The executive board in Local 100, the biggest failure. The biggest failure, right? The union executive board, they do not set the union's policies and priorities. They do not approve the budget. So when you see Richie Davis releasing his family and friends and the budget goes up, he don't answer to them because the union e-board do not approve the budget, right? They don't oversee the finances. They don't set the agenda for these are what the e-board is supposed to do. They don't set the agenda. They don't plan the events. The executive union leadership, as far as the top four, they do that. And then they present it to the e-board, and the e-board happily says, hey, yeah, you know what? We're going to do it because we don't want to lose our release time. That's what this e-board is about. This e-board is all about their release time. That's it. It's all about their release time. The e-board is supposed to be beholden to the members. The e-board is supposed to be the middlemen and women between the actual members and the executive leadership. The e-board is supposed to have the members' best interests. We are their constituents. They're supposed to confer with us, listen what the executive leadership has to offer, and say yay or nay regarding to that. The trickery that's pulled when it comes to the e-board is that the union leadership dangles release time over the e-board members' head. They give them cushy jobs. They give them jobs with no job descriptions. And they get comfortable. They get more comfortable at being an e-board rep, doing whatever they want to do for the most part, than the jobs they were hired to do. So psychologically, they start thinking, hey, this is a nice job. And what's understood don't need to be said. The people who gave me the release time are my bosses, essentially. So I don't want to lose this job, this release time job. So guess what I'm going to do? Whatever the top four want, I'm going to give them. There are about 12, I think they have an e-board meeting every month if they don't cancel it during the summer. I'm not sure. So there's about 10 to 12 e-board meetings a month. All the issues that transit workers have, I'm guaranteeing you this. The e-board must vote no. There's probably about, and I'm saying this is a stretch, maybe like 10 no votes the whole year during the entire e-board. And there's about 40 something e-board members, I believe, maybe 50, and only 10 throughout the whole year regarding pressing issues. That should be alarming to you. That should be something that say, hey, something does not sound right here or look right. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have regarding the e-board. The e-board members are not beholden to the members. They are beholden to the leadership, the people who control their release time. And like I said, that is a major, major, major issue. Major issue. And back to us holding people accountable, we got to start holding our e-board reps accountable. And when it comes to the strategy of us getting this poor contract, when it comes to the strategy of how this union is being pioneered as a whole, it starts with the e-board. And I'm going to tell you why. The members at large did not vote Richie Davis in for president. But you know who did? The e-board. The e-board voted him in without questioning him, without asking him what are his specific plans for each department. They didn't ask him for they didn't ask what his goals were to lead us forward. They didn't ask him nothing. What happened was they said, we're appointing Richie Davis for president. And we're going to take a vote. And they took a vote. They voted yes. See, and they were smart enough to know that Richie Davis had enough support on the e-board anyway for it to go through. And it wasn't support because they feel like he's great, he's intelligent, he's smart, he's doing wonderful things or did wonderful things in his department. It's just that they was all beholden to that past president. And if they were to say no, they would have been punished. And their punishment is them going back to the job that they was hired for. This is how comfortable people get in these union positions, these cushy union positions. This is what they do. And as a result, the people who suffer is us. We are the ones who suffer. We are the ones who pay the pipe at the end of the day. Because everyone knows that Richie Davis is not equipped to run this union. And I'm going to release that audio. He's not equipped to run this union in no way, shape, form, or fashion. He leads by emotion. He's very emotional. You can't be the president and be emotional and jump at every damn little thing. He's too emotional. He's very vindictive. Doesn't speak well. Don't know the issues. And that's what we should not be looking for in a leader here. We should not be looking for that. And I'm interested to hear you guys' perspective on this. You could call in live 563-999-3714. If you have something to say or want to say anything about it. I think that moving forward as a union, we are in some deep sugar honey iced tea. And there was a document that dropped today talking about the contract implementation timetable. Now, this is the problem that I have when it comes to implementing a contract. When we sign on that dotted line and it's ratified and it's ratified from the E-board and it's ratified from the MTA board, those implementations need to take effect immediately. And I want to show you guys the trickery, the technology regarding this. When it comes to some of the items on that was negotiated during our contract, we will not see things immediately. For an example, the retro payment will be made in December. The retro pay will be made in December. Some people will look at that as a savings, right? The new higher pay rate on a paycheck will be seen in December. Those raises need to be made immediately, because you want to know what? When it's done in December, that's another year lost. It's another year lost, because our contract was the new year start the next month. Even if it's retro, guess what happened? That check is going to be crushed by taxes. Right? That's what's going to happen. The essential worker bonus at the end of next month. Wow. Why is that? Why is that? I just don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense. If the maternity and paternity leave can be in effect now, so can everything else. But you want to know what? This union administration love working on the MTA time. They love working on the MTA time. And it actually shows us, it exhibits to us how weak our union leadership is. If I sign something right now, I don't want it at the end of the year. I want it right now. There's absolutely no reason why some of these things we have to wait for them, especially at the end of the year. We're talking about 4 months from now, 6 months, or whatever it is, 4 months from now. That makes absolutely no sense. No sense whatsoever. Now, there's something that I wanted to touch on regarding a post that I made in 2018. And it was regarding the meal period for, I believe this is Metro North, right? A lot of people don't know. A lot of parts of the public do not know that sometimes transit workers don't get a lunch break. And this goes for, well, I'm gonna say this: bus operators get lunch break. Subway workers, we do not get. Train crews, we do not get lunch breaks sometimes. We could work all day without a lunch, without sitting down and eating, right? We make this railroad run for them. You know, we're going our cabs and eat, even though it's against the rules. And they will allow you to eat in your cab to keep service moving, even though it's against the rules, because it benefits them. And that's one thing I don't like about this job, is the double standard. They have the ability to bend the rules when it benefits them, but when it does not benefit them and they feel like instituting big stick management, they do it with impunity, right? I feel that that is an issue. But for those who don't know, train operators and conductors do not get lunch breaks sometimes. And this includes people who's managing their diabetes. This includes pregnant women. This includes people who need to take food and medicine at the same time. This includes everyone. The transit authority do not care about the people that make this system move. They only care about service. Now, what they do is that if you do not have at least 20 minutes for a lunch break, which 20 minutes in the subways is crazy because you got to walk to your train. If you got to heat up your food, we're talking about 2-3 minutes. Then you have to be on your train 2 minutes before the departing schedule. That's not a lot of time. So that 20 minutes really mean nothing, and they'll pay you a 30-minute bonus if you miss your lunch, right? Now, I want to take a look at what is going on right here in Metro North. And this language is pretty simple. Meal period. Employees will be allowed a 20-minute meal period without deduction in pay. The meal period must be given and completed between the 4th and 6 and 1/2 hours after starting work. In the event conditions do not allow the meal period to be taken between the 4th and 6 and 1/2 hours after starting work, the employees will be paid an additional 45 minutes at the straight time rate and will be allowed a 20-minute meal period as soon as conditions permit. I need to touch on that. We need to discuss this because what is the excuse for Metro North workers to get a superior lunch break than we will get in New York City Transit subways? I would like to know, how does that work? 45 minutes, we get 30 minutes. Is it because we have bad union representation, bad leadership? Is it because of the makeup of New York City Transit versus Metro North? What is the true reason behind it? Right? And on top of that, they will still get afforded a 20-minute break. And I would like to know why. And that 20-minute break is contingent on the conditions. And what I could say about the conditions is that they headways is not like ours. Right? We have a more strenuous headway, which means that our trains run more frequently than the service over there. Right? What's the reason why they get a superior lunch break and they ensure that they get lunch versus us? I want to know. You know, we could definitely look at our leadership. Those issues were not addressed during this contract, which is the big issue.